Are we all ready for tidbits this week? This week we are doing a Stocking-Palooza.
We're starting Christmas.
Yes, and I hate doing that because I love Thanksgiving and I love fall and I hate letting that go for in Christmas. But some of the stuff takes just a little bit more time, so you might have to get started on a little bit earlier. So we're just doing it under the table here a little bit. So stockings, you can either have them functional, you can have them just decorative. And what we've got is 3 different patterns that we pulled together that have actually quite a few stockings in each one of them. So let's start off with this guy. These are little embroidered stockings, and they are called Little Stockings, and they were just the cutest darn things. This is the pattern for it. And what we did, and you guys all know how we love our Transfer-Eze. That's the product where you can copy onto this, pull off the paper backing so that you can put it on here. It's a little tacky, and then stitch through it. So you don't have to mark anything. It's an absolutely wonderful thing. So what we did is we used an aged muslin because I wanted this to look very primitive and rustic.
So you don't have to go out and tea dye your
you don't
own.
have to tea dye or coffee dye any of that. Antique muslin works really great for that. So what we did is rather than, and you can kind of see on the pattern, my fingers are working. So this is how they come, and it's really cool because it does tell you colors as far as to what goes on which one. But the thing is you don't want to have to run this on 3 different sheets of Transfer-Eze because you're basically wasting.
We're cheap. We are so cheap.
No, we're frugal.
Yeah, we keep saying that. We're just cheap.
So what we did is we made copies of these so we could cut them out. And what we did is we just took out just this and made a master copy of, I think you could probably fit 4 to a page. So then what we did is we took that master copy, copied it onto our Transfer-Eze, and then we could cut those guys and then put it onto our antique muslin. And I think what Terry did when she started out, because she kind of prepped all these for both of us, is she kind of drew the outline of the stocking on the antique muslin. So we knew exactly where it was going to have to go.
So if you just take your, put your paper right back where it was. So that's how much for the reindeer, that's how much you want to copy, because then that gives you the shape and the seam allowance for both of them. So if you just put that much
so you had all of this transferred onto the Transfer-Eze. So you knew exactly where it had to go.
Yes. It was very easy to do then.
And then it was just a matter of, they give you the toe, and you have obviously the back, putting it together. And then here's the coolest, and I thought this was actually pretty ingenious.
Yeah, don't even tell me how I struggled with it last night.
Well, that's what happens when you don't read instructions.
Well, there is that.
Actually, you have to read them 3 or 4 times to actually get what they're meaning. So what she has you do, because cuffs are always a hard thing. It's like, okay, have I got them going the right way, the wrong way? And that's the thing with stockings. If any of you guys have ever made stockings, you always have 2 of the same going in the same direction. You never have the reverse for the back, and we'll address that in a minute. But what she does with these guys, and it's really quite very ingenious, because these are decorative. These are not meant to be used, although you could probably use them for
before you tuck that in. So what she does, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yep, no, it's fine.
You have your top piece, which is where you did your embroidery. You stitch your toe on. And then you stitch on, oops, I put my finger right in there. You stitch your
you have green. A piece that you seam to the piece and one a piece that goes
and then
to the
you right sides together all the way around, leave the top opening.
Yes.
So that's how you do it.
Construction is very simple. And then what you do is you take and you stuff the whole cuff.
We just saved you so much time by telling you this.
Cuff all the way in. We were like not stuffing the whole cuff all the way in.
No, we weren't. I was doing everything but stand on my head to get those suckers to work last night.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I know.
So you got the whole cuff stuffed in, and then all you got to do is turn the cuff out.
Ta-da!
And there is no finishing. And yes, you have a raw edge in there, but that raw edge is like way down in here.
Right.
So it is not going to be any concern at all. And then what we did is we took a little bit of our wonderful jute, got our glue gun out, and just glued it onto the back so that you have a cute little hanger.
So there's a snowman and the manger scene and little reindeer, Happy Christmas,
Santa,
angel, and then the tree.
The tree, which has the little candles on it. But yeah, so everything worked out really well with those guys. They were super fun to do. And I was talking with somebody today, I think would be really cute to use these, because she was saying, you could put a gift card in. I'm like, yeah, but that means you have to give it away.
Oh, there's
And
that.
I'm just a little bit too selfish for that. I could see these if you string like a ribbon or something across your window.
Yep, and hang
And
them.
just hang them off from that would be
And put a
cuter than
little
heck.
pine cone or
Yeah,
a pine branch.
You could put a little bit of greenery in them
Yes.
somehow, would be just adorable. So that's the little Christmas stockings. We are doing kits for all three of these guys. The kit for this will have everything except for the threads. Actually, the kits for all of them will have everything in them except for the threads.
Marty, could you sit down on the stool? I cannot get your body and the thing in on the same thing.
Here.
I don't know if that's going to make it, it's not going to do a lot, but that's okay. It's better.
Is it better?
Not a whole lot, but that's okay.
Okay. I can take about 6 inches off my height if you want.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so let's do the patchwork ones next. This one was really cool because it started out with a charm pack is what we did. Now, there are 4 of the stockings in this group. And what we used is this Holiday Essentials Christmas by Stacy Iced Sue. I can't remember how to pronounce her last name. But it's really kind of just these really fun, funky, brighter Christmas prints. And what you do is you have one that is predominantly green, one that is a little bit predominantly red, and then you have a mixed and a mixed. And
The
I'll
leftovers.
show you this guy. But I mean, it was really nice because the whole charm pack divided evenly, and that doesn't always happen. So the charm pack plus a little bit of white, plus a little bit of another fabric and a couple of bindings, and that's all it was. And I just lined them with, you know, a plain white in them, and then threw a nice little Christmas print on the back side of them so that they are one fabric on the back. But what was interesting, and so what I wanted to show you on this is once you did the piecing, which she had you make all of your blocks, you would cut out your, and what did I do with it?
Oh, the stocking, I think it's over there, Marty, by the sewing machine.
Oh, I thought it was closer than that.
Hang on, we have to find our stocking
Oh, there it
pattern.
is.
Talk amongst yourself.
I know, talk amongst yourself. So when I'm doing stuff like stockings, as we said earlier, you know, it's really hard sometimes that you always get them going in the same direction and you can't have a front and
The
back
wrong direction.
that are mirror images on each other. So what I did is she has you put things together in blocks, obviously, and put together a piece. And then you cut your stocking out of that. So what I did is I made a freezer paper template of what the stocking was. And on this one, which is the way that they're supposed to go, I marked front. And then for when I was cutting the backs out, I flipped it over and wrote back on the other side.
She thinks she's so smart today, really.
I am. I mean, that was pretty ingenious of me to figure that out after 30 years.
And how many stockings?
And yeah, exactly. But I knew that I cut my backings out and it had to go this way.
Right.
And I cut my fronts out and it had to go this way. I'm sorry, it's the little things in life that make me happy. What can I tell you?
So do you want to show the one you just are not finished with?
So what I did is she has you sew your linings together, leave the top edge opening, sew your piece and your back together. And what you want to do is turn the outside right side out. So once you've got this stitched, you want to clip your curves, obviously, so that they go nice
and smooth.
Nice and smooth. So this is the log cabin one. And then all you really have to do is, this one does not get turned right out. What I usually do is stick your hand down the stocking and then just tuck it inside. And I found that, and I have found, I've made several stockings over the years, as some of you might have also. If you take a slightly fatter seam allowance on the lining,
it'll fit better.
It just fits so much better. You're not trying to stuff something of equal size into it. So it works if you just take just a slightly bigger seam allowance.
And this is probably the best technique if you're going to bind the top.
Yes.
If you're not going to bind the top, you're just going to turn it. There's a different way, but this is the binding.
Yes.
This is the binding.
So then it would be just a matter of you line up your top edges, bind it with your piece, and then you make your handle. What I did is I took a leftover piece of the binding that I had, and you fold it right sides in, fold it back in half again, and stitch down both sides. So that's your hanger. And this was just a matter of you sew it into the back like this. You do a stitch line across there, flip it up and stitch it again so that you don't have raw edges.
Do you want to hold up the log cabin one a little bit more?
Yeah, so that they can see all 4 of them?
Yes. Well, could you hold them up? Because
I
it's
can.
better.
But I don't have anything to hold it to.
Okay.
So you have your log cabin, and then this is the green star, and then you have the flying geese and just the patchwork squares.
Ta-da! So that's 4.
So that's 4. And again, these aren't huge that you might not want to use them for an actual stocking.
Oh, I think you could.
Throw some nice greenery into them. They would just be absolutely adorable. And they're not hard. And maybe your family isn't into stockings. I mean, I don't know if that would fit an orange in anymore.
You have to have an orange in the toe.
You always have to have an orange in the toe, at least in our family. That's what you had to do. So these are the, what did we call these? Christmas Stockings 2, I think was what these are. No, Merry Stockings 2. So again, we're going to do the kit for this. It will have the charm pack. It will have the white fabric, the stars, the backing fabrics, bindings, everything that you're going to need for that will be in that kit. Okay, so last set of stockings, wool stockings. If you're like Terry and I, this time of year you try to pull out wool, although we do it all year round,
Yeah.
but a lot of the times, you know, when winter starts setting in, when fall and littles get so quiet, you get that nesting feeling of wanting to work with wool.
I just like to sit at home and do something in my chair.
Well,
I'm
most
not
people do other
nesting
things.
diddly.
Most people do other things. But anyways, these are an actual stocking. So the fronts are wool, the back are flannel and cat hair.
Yeah.
I hadn't cleaned them off yet. But they're very cute, simple projects. I mean, you have something as plain as this star, but as elegant as it is.
Very folk artish.
Mm-hmm. All of these are very folk art. And, you know, have a little bit of embroidery on the All Hearts Come Home for Christmas.
And I have to say, because I did the embroidery on that one, I used the Transfer-Eze again. I was not going to try to transfer those letters with a marking pen or anything like that. I just made a copy, put it on there, and rinsed it off. So we have the heart, All Hearts Come Home. This is the poor little snowman that didn't get finished. He's got arms and
There's
eyes.
a couple, but you get the idea.
Yeah. And then you have the stockings.
No, those are candy canes.
Candy canes. You have an angel. The Christmas tree with stars.
Santa.
The Santa.
And the crow.
And
The primitive
I
crow.
never know that that's a crow, but it is a crow with a
It is
star
a primitive
on it.
crow, yes.
Yeah, that's the primitive
And again,
crow.
these would just be really cute hanging off the tree if you wanted to, or hanging off a window. To me, they would be really cute strung on a window, or if you have a mantle, that kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean,
And you
just
could stick
really
a little
nice.
gift card or something in those if
But
you
then
wanted to
again,
give it
these
as a
you have
gift.
to give it away.
Well, again, these are like a couple evenings worth of stitching projects.
Yeah, they were really
They
easy.
really are very quick and easy.
And what we did on the flannel, oh Lord have mercy, that one has a lot of care here on it. What we did with the flannel is we just rolled the top edge down, and then when we did around the outside edge, you just stitched up the side. So you do have a finished edge. Terry decided not to stitch hers, but you could also just stitch the top edge along that also. So that is our Stocking-Palooza. So the kit prices will be on the bottom. Those are all, we'll have them ready to go, so you could get them anytime you want.
And get going. You had plenty of time before Christmas.
Yes. And
Plenty of time.
we have 25 new fabrics on the Fabulous Fabric Finds. And if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe or hit the old like button, because that helps out.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
It
I
means
know it's
something?
really sad we have to ask that, but yes.
Don't ask it then. You don't have to do that last part. Oh, I don't like that stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is.
Is
See you
there
next
anything
week.
else you can think of we need to talk?
No, I think we're good.
We have almost all of the best press sent out, and the chenille cutters also. So we're almost all caught up with our shipping. If not, be patient. It'll get there.
See you next week.
All right. Bye.